Hello, everyone. It's Fred Staab and Les Jackson. We've got a great show for you. Live 2 hours of automotive information and a lot of reveals, Les, this week. Talking about two big SUVs from Lexus, starting off with the TX, which is a 3-row SUV. Pretty cool stuff. Of course, they're just adding more to the collection, aren't they?
It is definitely adding more, and you notice the collection's getting larger, quite literally.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. And then there's more to that as well. The TX, which is sort of a Land Cruiser, basically, when you look at it. It is a very capable off-roader, but is quite luxurious as well. It's going to have 33-inch tires as an option, kind of an overland sort of trim level that will be available.
Yep, very safari-ish.
Very safari-ish, yeah, and I'm sure highly priced too. And,
I'm sure.
And then we're going to take a look at the U.S. News and World Report's list of best cars for teens, and they're not all SUVs. Can you believe that?
It's getting harder and harder to believe, but I'll go with it.
Yeah, and then we're going to look at something that Ford is investigating. They are investigating potentially putting a battery on the roof in one of those roof boxes to extend your range off-road. But the question I have is that's a lot of weight way up high.
It's a heck of a lot of weight, not to mention big wires and connections.
I hope there's a lot of zip ties included, you know?
And a massive amount of electrical tape.
Yes, that would be wonderful. And then we're going to talk about Jeep pricing out its Wranglers. Man, are they pricey.
They sure are. I just never could have predicted how much they cost.
Yeah, it is. You'll be shocked at the prices for the 2024 lineup.
Sticker shock when you walk in the showroom.
Yes, and then I'm going to have an at-the-wheel review of the G90 later on, and then you're going to have an at-the-wheel review of the GV60. So it's a Genesis review show this week.
That's right. This is National Genesis Week.
National Genesis Week. I like that.
No, these are wonderful vehicles.
Yeah.
We'll talk about it.
We'll talk about it for sure. So that's all coming up on Cruise Control. We'll be getting started in a couple of minutes. So stand by and get ready. Buckle up because we got plenty to get to.
This is Cruise Control. Your on-air automotive magazine with co-hosts Fred Staab and Les Jackson. Everything you need to know about new and used cars. Industry news. We'll fix or repair your car on the air. Fasten your seatbelts and let us take the wheel. Now, your ride is about to begin because you're on Cruise Control. Cruise Control. Cruise Control.
That's right. You are on Cruise Control. Welcome, everyone. It's that time again to buckle up your seatbelts as we head out and check out what's going on in the automotive industry. And there's a lot going on this week. We got new reveals. We're going to have reviews. Got plenty of news. And along with me, as always, is none other than Les Jackson. Les, how are you?
Excellent, sir. How are you?
All right. I am great, and I am ready to start hitting these stories because we've got a lot of them.
Let's do it.
We're going to start with Lexus. They've got two brand new SUVs, and they are big SUVs, 3 rows. First, it's the TX, and that is a 3-row SUV, kind of great for cruising around town. And then if you want something a little bit bigger, Well, they have the GX, which is a body-on-frame off-roader, super luxurious, and they're going to be showing that with 33-inch tires. So you're ready to take on the trail, Les Jackson.
Well, here comes the trail.
Yeah.
I'm going to talk about that later. Anyway,
Okay.
we also take a look at U.S. News and World Report's list of the best cars for teens. That's not price, that's for people.
Yeah, there's probably only a couple of cars in the teens range
Yes.
as far as pricing.
It's a good list. This is something that a lot of parents need to see.
I also think people don't think about some of these cars, and
No.
they should, and that's what we're going to bring that list out to you. And then talking tech, more time on the trail. What if you had a roof-mounted battery to extend your EV's range? Well, Ford is proposing that, and we'll talk about it. Is it a good idea or not?
I just see the roof caving in. And Jeep has priced out its Wrangler line for 2024, and all I can say to those interested in them is get ready to look at your wallet fondly.
And remember when it was once filled.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's true. The Wranglers for 2024, there's a lot of them, but if you want some of the higher-end models, you're going to have to pay pretty extensively. And then you're going to have an at-the-wheel review of a great vehicle, the Genesis GV60, right?
Absolutely. I'm sorry I had to give it back.
Yeah, great little electric vehicle.
Wonderful.
Very nicely styled. I remember driving this and thinking, like, this is almost like a show car that they put into production, you know?
It is, and I got a lot of attention. Neighbors, I would just drive by, and they go, "What is that? That's
Were they
beautiful."
pointing at you and saying, "What is that?"
Well,
that's kind
no,
of
I'm
rude.
used to that, but the car got attention.
All right. Well, we hope you stick around and give us your attention because we're just getting started on Cruise Control, your on-air automotive magazine. We will be right back, so leave it where it is.
Cruise Control.
Hey, welcome back to Cruise Control. This is your on-air automotive magazine. You know us. I'm Les. He's Fred.
Hello.
Yes, and we're going to start off with two large, and underline the word large, SUVs from Lexus, the TX and the GX. The TX is 3 rows. It's big. I mean, what can I say? It's what do you suppose it weighs, Fred? 6,000 pounds?
Maybe. This is a kind of a 3-row, family truckster, basically.
Right.
It is.
Chevy Chase is driving.
Yes, exactly. This is, they say, can I read this? Practical elegance and design. All wrapped up.
Well, I was going to say that myself.
It's a unique 3-row SUV silhouette.
Mm-hmm.
What's interesting here, I think the big takeaway is it's going to have 2 electrified powertrain options, a plug-in hybrid combined with a powerful V6 engine and a high-performance 2.4-liter turbocharged hybrid that is exclusively for their F-Sport performance model of the vehicle, which is pretty exciting. It's great to see these being brought out that way.
And they're certainly the masters of hybrid drivetrains. So.
Yeah. I mean, you look at their numbers for these things, and they have the TX350, which is a 2.4-liter gas engine, 8-speed automatic, 275 horsepower, which seems a bit low for this large vehicle, doesn't it?
It does seem a little low, but I'm sure it's torquey.
Okay. Actually, it is 317 pound-feet of torque. And then you move up to the TX 500H, which has a 2.4-liter hybrid electric vehicle powertrain, 366 horsepower. That gets the 6-speed automatic, 24 miles to the gallon, 409 pound-feet of torque. And then the really amazing one, the TX 550H, a 3.5-liter V6 plug-in hybrid electric vehicle, CVT transmission, 406 horsepower, 30 miles per gallon, and 33 miles of EV range from a big, heavy vehicle, right?
Well, again, they're good at it.
Yeah. And all of these, except for the base model, roll on 22-inch wheels. And that's a lot of weight to be rolling around and getting, in the case of the TX 550H, 30 miles to the gallon. I'm pretty impressed with that.
That's quite impressive. I have a feeling the tire mileage isn't very impressive.
You mean it
but,
goes through tires?
I would think so. I think, they need a lot of grip to handle all that weight, and I'm sure your tire life is not great.
This is built on the GAK platform, with a low center of gravity, optimal weight distribution, and it is, it is a very, how shall I say, competitive 3-row luxury SUV that will do very well and have the hybrid powertrains, the hybrid plug-in hybrid powertrains, which I think is almost a necessity when you bring out a big 3-row SUV now, don't you think?
Yes, either that or they'll have to put a V8 in it. And Toyota and Nissan's V8s historically get very poor mileage.
Yeah.
So they don't want to do that.
Now, that wasn't the only vehicle to come out today or this week. They also brought out the GX. And the GX is kind of the off-roader of the group. It is, well, kind of more angular. It is based on a body-on-frame design. And they even have a model here that can sport 33-inch tires.
That's, now, and of course, it's all about taking on the Range Rovers and the Jeeps and all of that.
Even the G-Wagon, I would say, right?
Yeah, and the G-Wagon. Here's a thing that is kind of bugging me. If you remember way, way back in the early 90s when SUVs were first starting to come in from lots of manufacturers, it was all about off-road capability.
Right.
You didn't talk about luxury. You didn't talk about anything. It was off-road.
Right.
Then for the next 28 years, they became, everyday, more and more luxurious people haulers.
Well, we're going to be back with more after this on Cruise Control. The Hyundai Kona, they start out with $20,000 to $25,000. Not a bad vehicle at all. I've driven them. I think they're really pleasant to drive, and they're well equipped, aren't they?
And I think teens like the looks of it.
Yeah. No, it's a fun car. It's definitely a fun vehicle. One you don't think of, gets highly rated, and you can probably make a deal on it, is the Kia K5, right?
I'm glad you said that because it's not something that we think about often. It's kind of hidden.
Yeah, and would make a great first car. Has everything you need, all the safety features. It has a great warranty, so it's something pretty good to check out. SUV for teens, a Hyundai Tucson, 25 to 30K.
Yep.
Wow, imagine getting a $30,000 car as your first car.
Again,
It's a different time.
I was raised in the wrong family.
Yeah, yeah.
But
Actually, when I got my first car, I had a used car, and I was happy because it was just at the beginning of the malaise period, and I did
oh
not
yeah,
want a new car because I thought they looked bad, they looked awkward, and they looked cheap inside.
yep, and they didn't run very well.
Yeah, all of that
Uh,
leads to you not wanting it. But
yeah.
best car for teens, 30,000 to 35,000. Honda Civic. Is a Honda Civic that much money?
Well, the Honda Civic's a great car, but I honestly didn't think they started at 30,000.
No, no. Hyundai Santa Fe, 30,000 to 35,000. Toyota Camry Hybrid, 35,000 to $40,000. Oh my.
Again, the prices just keep inflating.
Hyundai Santa Fe Hybrid, 35K to 40K. Kind of a strange car for a first car, isn't it?
I don't see teens particularly wanting that. It makes sense
But
gas mileage wise, but
this one makes sense. I like this Toyota Corolla Hybrid, 20K to 25.
yeah,
I think that's a
yeah.
great first car. I think that's like a great commuter car too. We talked about that Corolla Hybrid. If you don't have the money for a Prius, you can get real close to the MPG, and you can actually trick them out with nice wheels and all that. And I think that would be a great car to commute in.
You know it's going to be incredibly reliable. They're not little cars anymore. They're good size.
Yeah.
I think they look really good.
Yeah, and they're up in the 40s, high 40s, I think, for MPG with the hybrid. So not bad at all. It's some of those cars I would consider myself. I would certainly drive a Toyota
Yeah.
Corolla hybrid.
But as you said earlier, my gosh, these teens are graduating from high school and they get a, $30,000 worth of car.
Wow, that's pretty amazing.
I got a Timex watch.
All right, when we come back, Les will tell us more about his Timex watch. We'll have the best used cars for teens, according to U.S. News and World Report. So stay tuned to Cruise Control. I'm Fred Staab. He is Les Jackson. We will be right back.
Minute a month
Cruise
is
control.
garbage now.
And welcome back to Cruise Control. Let's take it.
Okay. Well, listen, we've been talking about best cars for teens and now the best used cars for teens.
These are more within the realm, I think.
Very affordable.
Yeah, they're good used cars.
And the large car. Well, shall we go with small first or large?
Go with small. Why not?
Okay. Well, small SUV.
Yeah.
Can't go wrong. Subaru Crosstrek Hybrid 2019.
Why would they go with a hybrid? They're pretty rare in the cross.
Well, they are pretty rare, but and I don't have the price range on it.
Yeah.
But they're available, and it's good value.
Yeah.
It's hard to go wrong with a Subaru.
No, I agree. I would think even a regular Crosstrek would be a nice first vehicle used.
Regular Crosstrek would be fine.
Yeah.
And as far as cars go, I'm not too sure about this one. I'm going to get your opinion, but they're saying 2018 Chevy Volt. That's Volt with a V.
Volt with a V. I saw
don't
one
know.
go by me the other day, and I thought about it. Like, what do they go for nowadays? And, I don't know. Maybe. For that price, I would probably go with a Bolt, if you want that. I think that would be a great first car.
Well, it would, except I have a feeling, or the original Bolts were pretty small, and I think maybe for teens they're sort of avoiding that size.
You'd
I don't know.
probably be best with a car with one seat because distraction.
Yes,
One seat and no radio.
one seat. That's right.
But all right, so I hadn't thought of a Volt. A lot of people still love their Volts with a V.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah.
You do.
Hyundai Santa Fe midsize SUV.
Again, if you look at the trends, it's Hyundai, Toyota,
Mm-hmm.
Kia.
Mm-hmm.
But Santa Fe is a great thing, and another midsize car is the Hyundai Sonata Hybrid. Now
That's
makes
a great
lot of
car.
sense.
That is a great car, actually. It gets incredible MPG.
2020.
Yeah, it's got all kind of safety features. It's got all kind of luxury features. I like that.
I wonder, I would think the price for a 2020 would be pretty much the same as the price for one of the new cars that was on the other list. And I don't know, given the choice between spending, say, $28,000, which would you do?
Well, if it was that close, I'd take the new just because I know what I'm getting.
I'd get the new,
Nobody's
yeah.
messed around with it, Toyota Avalon Hybrid. Probably a great used car.
Terrific car.
Big car, safe car, a lot of, and, it's going to get great mileage. So,
Yeah.
interesting suggestions out there. That is the U.S. News and World Report Best New Cars for Teens. I have to say, in prepping the show, there was a little article about the Chevy Malibu. Did you know they're still making the Chevy Malibu and selling it?
It's funny you say that. I have seen probably 4 Malibus this week.
Yeah.
And I, noticed to myself, I haven't seen them in years, and yet now I'm noticing them.
Yeah. Well, it's going to be available for the 2024 model year. The base model increased by $100. They didn't really change it much. The 16-inch spare steel wheel and emergency toolkit are now an optional extra. Hasn't changed much. And the RS, which is a nicely equipped one, is $27,095. And the 1 LT and 2 LT are $28,000 and $31,000 respectively, not including destination. So what would you think of a car like that as a first car?
That's a lot of car for the money.
Yeah.
It really is. I think that would be a great choice, and they're so well proven. They're very reliable.
Yeah. And, of course, people might say, well, you got yourself a rental car for, because a lot of them go to fleets. But, it's something to be said. I bet you could make a deal on one of those if you walked in and say, hey, I'll give you $25,000 for it
I'll
now.
I'll bet you can get a good 10% off or more.
What about one of those used?
That would be something to consider.
Yeah, you probably get it. A pretty big car for it. I mean, it's not going to be exciting, but to me, and maybe I'm out of step, but I just liked having a car that I could drive myself and go somewhere, So
yeah, a car. Hey, I have a car. It's mine.
Yes, I can get in it and I can drive it. So anyway, just some ideas and just to refresh your memory that is still available. There's a guy in my neighborhood, young guy, and goes, yeah, I think my first vehicle should be a new Raptor.
Oh, good for you.
It's like, wow. It's like, okay, nothing like starting with a basic car. You know?
Yeah, because you're well prepared to handle something like that.
Yeah, I mean, and when you're going to school, there's always a ramp that you may want to jump, It's just You just have to be ready for it. I mean, a Maverick would be a nice, if you could buy it.
If if you
It
could
would be a
find
great
one,
first car.
it would be.
Yeah.
Um, that's an aspirational vehicle.
Exactly. Exactly. So, hey, let's talk a little tech here, Les. Interesting. This was from the folks over at CarBuzz, not United States Patent Trademark Office. They showed Ford brought in a concept where the extended battery, it looks sort of like a Bronco being drawn out. The extended battery for the vehicle is in a roof box. You know those roof boxes that everyone seems to run around with now all the
Yep,
time?
those. There's a popular brand name
Yes, I
that
can.
I
can't.
always see.
I
It starts with an A, I think.
I know what you're talking about, but people leave them on
Oh,
because
Thule. That's what it's
Thule,
called.
yes,
Yeah,
yeah, they leave them on because they don't want to take them off. They have no place
right.
to keep them, and I think some people think it looks cool. But um, the idea is that you're out on on the trail and there's no charger, so they would have a battery pack on the roof with a cord that either, I don't know whether it's I guess you can't drive it with the plug in it, or you stop overnight and you charge your battery up. This is analogous to those things you have for a cell phone, the battery.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, the concept sounds great, but would you want to put all your weight up there if you're going off road and going on rough roads? Would you want to have all that weight on your roof?
Well, I wouldn't. Now, again, we don't know what the size of this battery is. It's not going to be the whole vehicle battery. Those average 1,800 pounds.
Yeah, it would be a little difficult to lift that off your roof. At
But
least
yeah,
maybe for not for you, but for me, I
yeah,
might be a little difficult.
exactly.
For
I'm
that.
thinking maybe it's a battery big enough for, let's say, 50 miles.
Well, I thought about this, and apparently there's a company that does sell something like this. It sort of looks like it looks like a big fat suitcase which got a handle on it, or maybe like an old-fashioned vacuum cleaner, and that's exactly what it is. It is like a jump pack for.
Yeah.
And I thought, because when I was researching this, I thought, well, maybe someone makes something smaller that's not sitting on the roof, something that you could pack away and have. And I thought, instead of the weight all the way up here, what if you had like a little off-road capable trailer with a battery in it?
Well, yeah. Now I like that idea.
And the problem is you have to do some engineering. By towing a trailer, you're reducing your range. So you're reducing your range and carrying a battery behind you
Yeah.
to increase your range. So I guess you'd have to do the math on that.
I, you know, I would myself, I would probably put something on the roof and have a little diesel generator so that I could, run it at night and recharge the car.
Interesting. Interesting. Hey, I want to get to our Jeep story because you have an At the Wheel review coming up, too, in the next break. But we're going to have to hold that to the next hour, I think, because we're going into the break right now. But we'll get to that Jeep pricing next hour on Cruise Control. When we come back, you are going to be reviewing the Genesis GV60, all-electric vehicle, very cool vehicle, and I can't wait to get your take on it, Les Jackson. Stay tuned to Cruise Control. I'm Fred Staab. He is Les Jackson. We will be right back.
Cruise Control.
Welcome back to Cruise Control. Guess what, Fred? And
What?
guess what, everyone? It is time for an At the Wheel review. And I just happen to have a vehicle to review.
Which
So
makes them a lot easier when you
it
do.
makes it much easier because you don't want to hear about my, 55 Ford Crown Victoria.
We did hear about your Timex watch, though, earlier.
That's right.
Self-winding.
My Timex watch that I got for high school graduation. Anyway, I'm so sorry to give it back. I've been in the 2023 Genesis GV60. Now that's, I guess we can call it mid-size sedan car, not an SUV, and it's fully electric. And it's been a long, long time since I absolutely fell in love with something I was testing.
Wow.
But this, wow. I honestly had to really, really look for things that I didn't much care for, and there weren't any.
Okay.
Okay, so to start off, it's a beautiful white color. It's called Uyuni white. I don't know what it means. And it has a lovely interior navy blue. They call it torrent blue. And of course, being a Genesis, top quality materials, the best you can buy. So that's what you expect and that's what you get. So it's electric. What does that mean? Well, it means it's going to be incredibly fast, which it is. And it has a boost button. Did you use the boost button?
I did. I love the boost button. It was like
did
I
you
was
time your 0 to 60?
I did not, but it made a difference. It wasn't just one of those things you push and nothing happens.
It was well under 4 seconds.
It's sort of like in Formula One. You have that little button to push.
I actually scared a couple of people who were riding at it. Anyway, when you're not using the boost button, which uses a lot of electricity, you can expect a full charge to take you about 235 miles, which, that's great. That's enough. You can charge at a fast charger from say 60% to 80%, which I did twice.
Yep.
I drove it a lot of miles. And it was 25 minutes.
Yeah.
Nothing.
All right.
And frankly, you don't want to get out of it because it's just so nice, so comfortable. Well, let me just tell you that some of the safety technology, then we'll get into the cool stuff. Not that safety isn't cool. All of the things you expect these days, lane keeping and collision avoidance, and there's a surround view monitor, which is great. Blind spot monitor. Of course, Genesis is famous for these blind spot monitors. When you turn on the turn signal,
Right.
It turns on a video image in place of your gauge. Cross traffic, rear cross traffic, which I experienced trying to get out of the supermarket lot.
Oh yeah, that is a good one.
Boy, well, not just vehicles, but people with carts. They're just driving along and not looking for anybody backing out.
So true.
Driver attention warning. Remote smart parking assist, which is fun.
Do you use that? I know.
Yeah, I love it. I want to impress the people that are curious about it. Anyway. So the powertrain is 160,000 or 160 kilowatt front, and the same in the rear motor. It's all-wheel drive. And the battery itself is 77 kilowatt hours. The suspension, which is, I'm sure you experience the same thing, is just perfect. It's like an Aston Martin.
It's a well-engineered vehicle. It's certainly
it's just beautifully engineered, electronically controlled. 21-inch alloy wheels. Again, beautiful wheels. It has the Vision roof with the power shade, which, sort of a clamshell thing. It's very, very cool. I'm getting to the orb.
The orb is one of my favorite things. I love them.
Well, yeah. In fact, we're showing a video for those watching YouTube or Facebook. Everybody who rode in it was just flabbergasted by the orb, which one of the passengers called it the magic 8-ball. And I had a lot of fun demonstrating that I didn't need the key fob, because I used the facial recognition and the fingerprint recognition, which really impressed some local neighbors. I'm right near the Pentagon,
Right.
and an awful lot of people are in high-level security, and it really impressed them a lot.
Yeah.
So every possible combination of seat comfort and seat heating and seat cooling and heated rear seats, and in fact the rear seats recline. Just everything about the Genesis is just, it's welcoming. I honestly did fall in love with this thing. I want one.
Okay.
I don't want to buy one, but I want one. The instrument, as you experienced, is 12-inch, 12.3-inch color display. Of course, the whole dash kind of ends up being a display. Heads-up display, which I
like them.
You know how I feel about those. And this is really the first time I've played with a Bang & Olufsen premium audio system.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, it's really, really good.
It's there can't be anything better. There just can't. Active noise control on the road. Wireless charger, of course. It's just everything, and it handles great. This thing weighs over 6,000 pounds.
Yeah, that's
and yet you would think that it's not like a Miata, but it certainly is like a bigger sports car.
it's sort of like the weight of a half-ton pickup truck, really.
Yeah. Now, again, about 1,800 pounds on average of these electric vehicles is the battery. Warranty on Genesis is worth mentioning. It's 5-year, 60,000-mile bumper-to-bumper, 10-year powertrain, that's Hyundai, 10-year electric powertrain, and, of course, the usual no rust and all of that. So, where does it come in terms of how much you have to spend for this? It had one and only one option, which was the white paint.
Okay.
And that was only $575.
Pretty common these days to have something like that. Okay.
Yeah.
So the total.
The total is, with $1,095 freight, is $69,560, which is actually less than I thought it would be.
Now, do you get the federal credit? I
Yes.
guess.
Well,
Or will you, because it's not built in the U.S., is it?
well, that's right. It's only Canadian content is 3%.
Okay.
It's 90% Korean content. So no, but you get some state incentives.
Help. Yeah.
And the fact is, the annual fuel cost is estimated to be $800, which is way, way less than what you'd pay for gas.
Oh, yeah. As I said, I liked it because I felt it was almost like a show car, like a prototype that they brought out.
Yeah.
And they really went all out on it design-wise, and good vehicle, definitely. Genesis.
It is just, I mean, it's just everything you want.
Yeah,
Or at
absolutely.
least I want.
Absolutely. All right. Well, we'll have another Genesis G90 with the E Supercharger review next hour on Cruise Control. Time for me to say I'm Fred Staab.
I'm Les Jackson.
We are going to see you down the road.